plans for the lands and buildings according to the district. So BYU will own that property across from Provo High.
Joining us now on BYU Sports Nation, our second in-studio guest is Kyle Brown, a guy who has had a very interesting last few months and is an elite track and field star at BYU, a man we once called a distance runner during the Y Awards. In our defense, Kyle, were you not an outstanding distance runner in high school?
My mom was, and I thought I would be, but no, not at all.
So it moved to pole vault, where you kind of found a niche and had great success. But, I mean, we had a fantastic time at the graduation banquet at the Hinckley Center just a few days ago where you spoke and shared your story. What was that experience like for you?
It was neat to be able to talk to my fellow student athletes. Like, having gone through such a serious accident in Seattle just 2 months ago, I felt like I've been recovering miraculously well, and I've learned a lot over the way, so it was cool to be able to share some of that with my teammates and other athletes.
And with us, it was very cool for us, and we want to get into that experience in a second. But you graduated with a mechanical engineering?
Yeah.
What was your GPA again? 3.95?
After this semester, it's a little bit lower than that.
Oh, come on,
How
man.
dare you, Kyle?
So you slacked up? No. What'd you finish with at BYU?
Probably a 3.89, maybe. I'm not sure.
A 3.89 in mechanical engineering, which, by the way, BYU also announced a new engineering building under construction today, which is cool. How were you able to be a student athlete and maintain such a high GPA in a tough degree?
So the secret is to pad your GPA at the beginning with a lot of easier classes, 4.0s, and then as you get to the harder ones, you do a little bit worse. But I don't know. I just learned how to not be in class but still get work done. So. Yeah,
to travel around and deal with homework
I learned how to
on
do
the
one
road.
Of those things.
That's unbelievable. Now, we chronicled a bit of your story on the show when it happened, and a lot of people were worried, and for good reason. I mean, it was crazy and really scary. So let's just kind of start with this. What happened, and how are you doing now?
Okay, so I was competing in Seattle. I don't remember much because I got knocked out, but apparently as I was warming up for the meet, my first warm-up jump, I was sprinting down the runway, and usually, at the end of the runway, you plant your pole in the box, put your hands above your head. But when I got there, something went wrong. I either threw the pole or was getting ready to throw it. It caught on something, and the other end was right in front of my face when that happened. So it got me right here where you see the scar. And then I was knocked out, bleeding pretty heavily. The trainer got there. Some other coaches got there. My wife was standing there. Fortunately, she hadn't seen it. She had glanced down right when I hit, so that was really a blessing for her and for me. So they made sure I wasn't dead or paralyzed. I could see out of both eyes, which was pretty surprising considering I had been hit right here. So they took me to the hospital. They put me on a spine board, took me to the ambulance. They drove me to the trauma center, got some CAT scans, which showed fractures all along the zygomatic arch in this area of the orbit. So then I was just in the ICU for a few days. And they flew me back to Salt Lake a few days later, and then I had surgery here in Provo. So.
And how are you doing now?
I'm doing great. I mean, I look almost normal, as you can tell. I feel awesome. I'm even able to train at like 100%, sprinting, jumping, no pole vaulting yet, because although the surgeons have cleared me to vault, the team doctors and my coaches don't feel like they're quite ready to put me back in.
Yeah, come on,
even
coach!
though I'm raring to go, but I respect their decision. I trust them, and if I'm not going to get a chance to vault again this season, that's okay.
I mean, just hearing from you and what you went through and
The
how
fact that you're
severe
in
the
studio.
injury. That's
right.
It's a miracle.
It really is. It's a miracle,
It
man.
Yeah, it is.
And it's just, it's really unbelievable stuff. So, first of all, we're so glad that you are feeling better.
Thank you,
and
me too.
it's really exciting that you're going to get back to compete again. You shared some really funny things during that graduation banquet, which kind of blew me away as well, because I'm thinking, how do you maintain a sense of humor in that moment? But apparently you kept asking the same questions over and over again. And
for a period of about maybe 8 or 9 hours, I was conscious, but I don't think I had any short-term memory. So I would usually start with, can I have some water? Because I was really thirsty. And then they would tell me no, and I would say, well, why? Because you got hurt. You might have to have surgery. I got hurt. What happened? You had a pole vaulting accident. Well, how'd I do? Well, you didn't compete. Well, that's dumb. and then I would say, I would call my wife's name, Ariane, are you here? And she'd say, yes, I am. And I'd say, are we married? And she'd say, yes. I mean, we've been married for, at that point, it had been, just over 2 months. So apparently I lost the memory of that. Well,
Wow.
So yeah, but I kind of was on repeat, just that same string of questions over and over again. And then finally, about maybe 9 hours after the accident, around 1:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, I started remembering things. So I stopped repeating the questions. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What's been the best part of this?
The best part to me, I think, has just been seeing how much the people around me love me. It obviously, having competed at BYU for 4 years, I love my team and I love being on the team. But having this happen to me showed me how much my team loves me. And that goes not just for my teammates, but for the staff, my coaches. I walked into the track office just a few days after I got out of the hospital to see Ann Heyman, our secretary. And she just broke down like when she saw my big scar, my stitches here, which were a lot more serious looking than they look now. And just told me, you guys don't know how much we love you. And to me, this whole experience has been really cool because I've seen that and I felt support from everywhere. Even when Tom Homo tweeted out, apparently even some Utah fans were praying for me. And you know you're hurt pretty bad when the Utes are praying for you too. But I mean, it felt pretty. That was a joke, but
I know.
I felt a lot of love from basically everywhere around me. So it's been cool.
And you mentioned Friday at the banquet that you feel compelled to compete again, to prove something.
So part of it is that I love pole vaulting. I also feel like I have not vaulted as high as I feel like I can. And I mentioned when I was speaking at the banquet that someday I'm going to be a dad. I'm an oldest brother, and so my brothers look up to me. My kids, I hope that I'll be their hero someday. And I don't feel like I've done what I can do in pole vault yet. And in the eternal or even the lifetime scheme of things, pole vault doesn't matter that much. But I do care about not giving up and giving it my all, and being kind of hero for my kids, that when they look at me and my example, they can say, because of what my dad taught me how to do, I didn't give up when it was hard, So I love it, and I want to be a hero to them and to not give up in the face of obstacles like this. So yeah, I want to vault again.
I love the shirt that you're wearing as well. It's your life. Honor it with the stretch wide. Kyle, it's been a pleasure to have you in Studio
Thank you.
B. Again, great to see you back up on your feet and feeling better, and we look forward to you competing again.
Me too.
We're going to have him sign our flag as we go to break. But
All right.
yeah, let's just soak in that unbelievable story from pole vaulter Kyle Brown a little bit more. Great example of what perseverance is. Joining us next, the elite one, Mitch Matthews. Does he think he's going to be drafted?